Alright, so welcome back everybody. I said I was done with Maya and I lied. I don't know why I always forget this, but I gotta export out my OBJ file. So back here in Maya, I'm gonna select my low poly one, my security console there, and do a file, let's do export selection. And we're gonna export it as an OBJ. I'm gonna call this, well, first of all, I'm gonna put it in the location I want it, which is gonna be my security console folder. I'm gonna call this security console. How creative of me. And export that. Okay, so that just got exported. So now over here in my directory I have an OBJ file, and that's what I just exported, this MTL file, which is a material file associated with the OBJ file. Since I'm going to be making my materials inside Quixel, I don't really need this, so I'm going to dump that. Okay, apparently I have a meeting or something at some point. So anyway, I'm going to dump that MTL file. Don't need it. So let's move this off to the side. And, okay, Photoshop, Quixel. So let's go, we're going to do some NDO details first. So I'm going to load up NDO. And as that loads faster than this, there we go. We're going to go ahead and launch our NDO project creator right there. For my mesh, it's going to be, oddly enough, it's going to be, where's my desktop? There it is. Security console, it's going to be my OBJ file right there. I will open that. My baked normal, see now if I had call it normal bake, you'd really see how that would kind of apply there. Normal Maya is what I'm going to use on that, like so. 2048, that looks good. Where am I going to save this project? I'm going to save it in security console NDO, like so. And let's go. Let's create this project. And here we go. So we've got our normal map in there. So all my normal information is going to go between this that little shape and this square. I do want one other thing in here, so I'm going to create a new layer. And let's bring this layer all the way up out of my normal group, like so. And this, well, I don't need to name it. It's going to be named in just a second. So I'm going to grab my color map and make sure I'm on the right layer. I am. I'm going to pull this color map into that layer, like so. So now I've got my color map up there that I can turn on and off. And basically I'm going to use this for selecting certain areas. So like let's start off. Let's just go ahead and get going. So I've got my magic wand. I'm going to start off with this green section right here. Get that selected. Turn off my color map. Let's come down here. Let's add a new layer. And I'm going to go ahead and call this layer window, like so. Alright, I've got my selection there, so let's convert our selection to normal information, like so. And you can see how it's kind of popping out right now. Let's change that. Let's make that go in. Oops, I'm sorry. Let's keep it on inner. And slant is where I'm going to make it go in. So it's up. Let's make it go down. There you go. It's being pushed in a little bit. Let's increase our size on this. Give ourselves a little bit more beveling right there. Maybe a little bit more. 20, yeah, something like that. Okay, kind of liking that. I can give myself a little bit more contrast to kind of really sharpen that up if I want. Maybe not too much though. Maybe about like so. Nice. Okay, so that's my window layer. So let's make another layer. And this is going to be my, oops, wrong button, or wrong clicking. This is going to be my LCD screen. Okay, so back up to our color map. And I will select it. I will go with my magic wand. I will select my yellow area, turn off my color map down to LCD, and let's turn that into normal information. Do the same thing. Let's go down. 8. 8's probably not bad. Let's make it 6. Let's make it a little bit smaller here. Okay, liking that. Very good. Next up, I want to put a little border around my buttons. So let's add a new layer over here. And I'm going to call this button border because I don't know what else to call it at the moment. And let us zoom in a little bit so I can see better, like so. And let's see, we're on our button layer. Let's go ahead and just do a box selection. Kind of right around here, like so. Let's go to select transform our selection. Let's see, looks like this side's a little biggish. Maybe this side's a little smallish. What do you think? Looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and select that. And let's go ahead and do that. Actually, that's not what I wanted to do, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, I knew I was going to crash it. That wasn't, I didn't even really look at what it was. That's paint information. I don't have paint information. I wanted to do a selection, so I'm waiting for Quixel to finish crashing. And let's see, I didn't, well, I'm going to save this right here really quick. Let's save that. No, let's not apply the transform. Oh, I hadn't, oh, I'm stupid. My transform wasn't, yeah. It's just one of those moments, I guess. Okay, let's go back into Quixel. Hey, Quixel. Sorry I broke you. So let's see. I'll go ahead and pause this while I get Quixel going again. Oh, there it is. Never mind. I guess I don't need to pause it. Let's go back into NDO. And let's see here. Yeah, so I'm basically right back where I was, pretty much. So let's go ahead and convert my selection into normal information, which is going to cover up my buttons. That's fine. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back up to our color map right here. I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to select this red portion. Oops, with my magic wand. I'm going to select the red portion. I'm going to go back down here to my button border. Let's turn off our color map. And let's see here. What I really want to do is... Okay, it won't just let me... Let's go into each one of our layers. And basically all I'm doing is deleting that section from each one of these layers. What I needed to do was actually convert this to a paint layer, sculpt layer before. I went and selected up there, but I didn't. So there's only 4 layers that I've got to do because there's only the 4 sides. Oh, 5 layers. I lied. There's the middle one. There we go. Okay, and this bottom one, that doesn't matter. Okay, there we go. So let's do a Control D. So there's our current border, and that border looks absolutely terrible. So what I want to do with this border at this point is chuck it, because that is atrocious. I do not like that at all. So I'm going to chuck it. At least I'm trying to chuck it. Let's go delete. Delete layer. Still yes? There it goes. Okay. So let's make this one again. Didn't like how that turned out. Button, border, like so. And I'll do this one a little bit differently this time. You know what? This is how I'm going to do it this time. Let's go up to our color map. Let's do a select that region. And we're going to come down here, turn that off. And yeah, you can see from our color information, you can see that it's actually quite different from, you know, there's what our color information has, but our bump information has a little bit more than that. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's do a select, and let's transform our selection a little bit. Let's do it like so, like so, like so. How does that look? Okay, see, these sides are a little bit too narrow, so I'm going to narrow this one down. And if I was actually smart, I'd bring up my guides, so that way I could be getting this exact instead of just eyeballing it. But hey, I'm not smart enough to do it that way, so I'm just going to eyeball it because, hey, I'm stupid. There we go. I'm liking that. So what I'm going to do here, let's go ahead and let's accept our change there. We're going to go ahead and do a Shift F5 to fill this, and let's fill it with white, like so. Cool. Let's hide that. What I want to do now is I want to transform my selection, bring it down like so, bring you down like so, bring you in like so, and let's bring you in like so. Turn on, turn this, oops, accept my changes. Turn that back on. Let's delete that. There we go. Alright, now then, do a control D, deselect everything. Our button border, let's convert that painted information to normal information. And you see we get this really nice little border around our buttons there that looks kind of cool in a weird way. Let's see. So some other things here. I'm going to do a new layer here, and I want to do a little like groove panel around the LCD thing. So I'm going to call this electronics panel. And for our electronics panel, let's go ahead and do another selection. Kind of select around. How's that look? That's not bad. Let's do a transform our selection. Let's pull this guy up just a little bit. Let's bring this one in just a little bit. There we go. I like that. And we're going to go ahead and accept our change. And let's convert this. Let's not convert that. Let's do a edit and a stroke, which is going to allow us to paint white right along that line we have. So I want to paint white, not red. Red is not what I want. And 4 pixels, sure, let's do that. We want to be centered, yeah, let's do it that way too. I'm doing okay. So we painted those lines, cool enough. And now let's do a control D to deselect. And we can paint, or we can convert our painted information into normal, like so. And that gives us this really neat raised thing. Not really what I want. It's cool though. Let's see, let's change this from inner to, let's try a groove. There we go. That's the look I was after. A little inset panel right there, maybe. Okay, that's not bad. Let's see what we can do around our window here. So let's make another new layer. Let's do a window border, like so. And on my window border, let's see, I'm going to create me a section, like so. I'm actually pretty close to it as it is. And basically, I'm going to do the same kind of thing up there that I did down here. At least that's my goal, and kind of see how that works out. Yeah, I like that right there. Let's do a edit fill. Where you at? Fill is right there. Still white, looks nice. Let's go ahead and hide that. And what I want to do is transform my selection a little bit. See, I'm just going to go into these at the moment and see, because I can always take some away later. Here we go. I'm going to select, approve that, turn this back on, and let's delete that like so. Do a control D. Let's go turn that into normal information. Raised, you know, it's pretty close to what I wanted, but not quite right. So, let's see here. Let us see here. So we'll go back one step. And what do I want to do? Think. What do I want to do? Let's see. Yeah, okay, let's do this. Let's do, oops, let me hide this. No, I'll keep that on. And try and decide really what I want to do with that. See, I'm going to delete that group. Group and contents, there we go. Alright, let's just make a new one here. Oh, I should have just edited it. Oh well, I didn't. Select, transform. We'll pull this in some. Seems pretty consistent to me. Consistent enough. do a Shift F5 to fill that with white. Let's hide this. And let's do another, where you at? Select, transform. I could actually blend this with what's below. Let's try that, okay? Yeah, let's see what happens here. Let's go ahead and convert this to what I want. Kind of wishing this would update because I don't actually have a selection. But okay, we'll take that anyway. There we go. Let's change our blend mode. Let's try overlay. There we go. That's actually what I wanted, that overlay. So now I've got the illusion of a border plus that blends back into the inset a little bit better. Let's increase our size here. Let's see what this does for us. Too much. 10 maybe. How about some more contrast on it? Not bad. What's outer do? No, I like the inner better. Emboss. Kind of like the emboss. Let's stay with the inner for now. Alright, there we go. So we've just created a little border frame around our window to give that a little bit better detailing. I want to put a little panel down here. You know, security panel or something like that, you know, manufacturer's panel. So I'm going to create a new layer here, and I'm going to call this name panel is what I'm going to call it. And I'm going to end up having to copy this layer and put it outside up here as well because I'm going to want this to be a different material before I go into dedo. Okay, so I'm here. Let's go to our box selection. Let's create a little box selection right here. You know what? Instead of a box selection like that, let's do a Control D. Over down here, right between the hand and our arrow, let's hold down and select a rounded rectangle tool instead. Yeah, something like that. That looks pretty good. I like that. And we're going to go ahead and so it filled with white automatically for us. Let's right click on our layer name there, and we want to rasterize this. Basically that converts it into non-vectored information. I want to copy this layer, Control J, and I want to take this copy all the way out of my normal group because this is going to be used to update my color map here in just a little while. So let's go back down to our normal panel, and yeah, let's convert this to something. Nothing like that though. Let's drop you down to like maybe a 1 or a 2. There we go. I mean, it's just slightly raised. That's really what I want there. Okay, that's pretty nice. And I want to add a little naming on here. Engraved name is what I'll call that. We're going to go to a text tool for this, and I don't know, I want something scripty. I don't know why, that's just what I want. Black adder. No, I don't want black adder. Let's see here. No, chiller's too obvious here. How about Edwardian script? That sounds pretty nifty. So we're going to do Edwardian script. And yeah, let's type something down here. I'm going to call this, what am I going to call this? Securo panel, comma, incorporated. There we go. Because yeah, why not? They're the ones who did it. Let's select this and let's increase our sizing on it some. How about a 48? Looks good. Select that. Let's move that down here a little bit. Looks good. And then I'm even going to want, let's see, I'm going to want one more little bit after that. So let me get back into my text tool here. Securo panel. Come on, text. There we go. Securo panel right there. Right. And what do I want to type here? You know what? I don't even know what I want to type there. I don't think I want to type anything there. So I'm going to undo that. I was going to add more information down there, but I'm like, what am I doing? Let's do it like that. There we go. No, let's raise it just a little bit. Doink. There we go. I like that. Yeah, I like it. And now I'm going to select the engraved name over here. Right click on it. And let's rasterize that, which has turned that into bitmap kind of information. Let's make a copy of that. Control J. Because we're going to need a copy of that. Okay, so my engraved name, we're going to convert that into normal information. And it's going to be slanted down. And it's going to be really small, like a 1. There we go. So you can see how that looks like that is like engraved into there, which is what I was after. So it looks like it got engraved into there, our Securo panel incorporated. Yeah, I like that. Okay. All right. So next up, well, we're just about done. Let's add a couple of minor things here. I want to add a couple of rivets holding in Securo panel incorporated. So we'll zoom in here, and I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to call this layer rivets because they have rivets. Isn't that amazing? Let's see, we're going to do a ellipse right there. Let's see, I want them to be even. Okay, come on now, even. 11 by 11? How about 12 by 12? 14 by 14. There we go. So we'll do that, and then we're going to do a Shift F5, fill that with white. And let's do a Control D, deselect that. I'm going to select my rivet, Control C, Control V. Where'd my new rivet go? I can't see it. Where you at, rivet? It must be right there on top of it. That's why I couldn't see it. Let's move this new rivet down to this spot. Looks good. Okay, let's merge those two layers together. And I could actually just convert it to normal information and then do some stuff, but I didn't. Control C, Control V. And now we're going to move these guys way down here. I think right about there. Looks good. Let's merge those layers together. Rename it as rivets. Let's create a copy of that layer because I'm going to need it for my color map, like so. Rivets, you get to be normal mapped now. There we go, but I don't want you looking like that because that looks really goofy. Alright, not bad. Let's try an outer. That looks a little bit better. Maybe increase you to 2 now. Let's see, what else can we do to you? We could do a down slant. That looks kind of nice. I don't think I really want that. Let's go back to up. Yeah, I'm going to do the outer right there. Zoom back out. And so you see we've got those little rivets, kind of chunks right there. Let's increase you to a 5. There we go. Okay, so now we've got something holding that little panel in place. And, you know, they're a little big, but I think we'll be alright with that. Let's drop our depth. There we go. Okay. And you know what? Let's do those in. Yes, I like it going in better. I'm not really sure why. Okay, at 1. I like that one. All right, so I finally settled on that. Next up, do we want anything else to this? I don't know. Do we want like screws around there? No. Well, I mean, how'd that get sealed in there? And, well, not with screws. It had to have something. Yeah, you're right. It did have to have something. So we should probably put screws there and maybe screws around the whole panel as well. What do you think? Yeah. Okay. So let's do a. This one will be keyboard screws like so. And let's create us some screws down here in this corner. Thinking 20 by 20 is probably going to be pretty cool for these. 22, 24, somewhere in that kind of area. Zoom in on it, or not. There we go. Do a little select. Let's transform our selection some. Go to a width of 22. That sounds good, and a height of. Oh, let's do it this way. I don't know why I didn't just do it quicker this way. So that both my width and my height are the same values right there. 91.3, 91.3. Of course, they didn't start off the same though, did they? No, they didn't. Alright, 20 by 20 finally. There we go. I'm going to select that. And do I like that location there? I want to move it just a little bit. Right about there. There we go. Alright, let's do a Shift F5. Boink. There we go. Got that selected. Control C, Control V. I'm going to move this guy straight up here. Zoom out here. Okay, I want to put this guy right up here somewhere. Right about there. Looks good. Let's merge those down. But not that way. Merge layers. Get this out of my way. That looks pretty good, I think. No, that one's over. It's a little bit too far. There we go. That'll do. Select both of these. We'll merge them. Let's create a copy of this. This is my key panel screws. Control J. Convert that to some normal information. Oops, I didn't hide those. There we go. Let's see. Let's go with a 2 on you. Maybe a 4. Yeah, about a 4. That looks good. Alright. Oops, I didn't want to close that. That was moderately dumb. So I just have one last thing I want to do to this. And that is add some screws. along this outside part here. So let's add one more layer. I'm going to call this main screws. I'm going to create something right up here, 70 by 70. That looks pretty good, I think. Shift F5 to fill that in. Yes. Alright, let's move that around a little bit. There we go. Let's zoom in on that a little bit now. And let's change this to a single row marquee tool. And what I want to do is I just want to, actually, you know what, we don't need to do a single row marquee tool. Let's go back to what we were. We've got U selected. Let's just bring up our eraser. Let's do it that way. We'll just eyeball this thing. We're 1 pixel. We're going to need to be bigger than that. Let's make you about 10 pixels. That looks good. So I'm going to start like right here-ish. Hold down Shift and just go down a little bit. Oops. There we go. And come over here and hold down Shift. And just go across a little bit. There we go. We're going to call that a Phillips head screw. Okay. We're going to select that. We're going to do a Control C, Control V. Put that on a new layer. Let's zoom out. Let's move my new one. Oops, that's moving its center point. Let's move you over to here. Ish. Nice. Merge you two down. Oops. Yes, select that. Merge you two down. Merge layers. Select you guys. Control C, Control V. And we're going to bring you guys straight down. Right there. I like that. Let's merge these. Merge layers. I'm going to rename this to be main screws. Make a copy of that. Put it up here. Hide that. Main screws. Let's convert you into normal data. Like so. Let's do some tweaking here. Change you down to what, maybe a 2. It's not bad. Let's increase our contrast maybe. Okay. Decrease our depth maybe. Okay, so at roughly normal depth, the player is going to look at it. It looks like Phillips head screws right there. Maybe even bolts for that matter. Kind of hard to say for sure. Okay, so yeah, we've got some normal information here that we can definitely work with. And we're ready to save this out, and so I'm going to hit Control S. So I've got that saved, and we are done with NDO. And what we're going to do next, actually before we go into DDO, is we're going to go ahead and fix up our color map, but that will be later. So see you guys.